Hi, I'm Nandi. I just started this channel, and this is really just to document my life, my faith, my journey, and just to have real conversations and talk about what's going on with me. So, welcome. When you hear 30, that means your life is put together, right? I don't know that I ever thought that way, but turning 30 really started opening my eyes to a lot of stuff. Recently, I celebrated a birthday and I went out to dinner with some really good friends. And in the conversation, in the good times, we ended up touching on the topic of wisdom to the 30-year-olds at the table. um, Words of wisdom and experience, and what can I pass along? What can we pass along? But also for myself, what are goals? What am I thinking about doing? Just like a big moment of reflection. And I really appreciated that question. I really appreciated that conversation because I don't know that when you hit 30 and then when you're deep into your 30s, if you, sometimes we do, but some people don't take the time to just sit and be like, man, let me reflect. Because in today's everything, we go straight to, what do I not have? Right? Like, we go straight to, I didn't check this box. I did check this box. I haven't checked this box, things like that. So I started thinking just about, okay, I am 31. So um last year was really just about like gratitude. I made it, I'm here, but being now in it, um and not like 29 or anything, now that I've had time to reflect, I really started to think like this wisdom that I want to share with you, this wisdom that we're going to talk about really came from like at dinner. It was like a second of reflection, but it felt like me replaying back on like all of my 20s, even like teenage up until now. So I'm thinking about, who am I now? Like, who is Nandi today? Who am I now? And where was I before? And if I'm giving any advice to anyone who is going to be in their 30s, who's honestly 25 or over, because if you're younger than that, live your life. But if you, or anyone that's feeling like you're at a point where it's time to do some reflection and it's time to figure out how I was living, what I was doing, and what I would like to do, things like that. So, one thing that I said is, don't take anything personally. And I actually learned this because of just life experiences, friendships that didn't look like how I wanted them to look, work, job roles, things like that. My feelings got hurt a lot. I let my feelings get hurt a lot. And that really hurt my identity. Taking things personally too much, way too many times. I was, trying to figure out like, why isn't that friend group hanging out with me the way I want to hang out with them? Why, doesn't my partner do the things that other people are doing? Or why is that person treating me like that? Why is that person not showing up for me like that? Why can't, like, honestly, it's comparison also, but I would say just don't take anything personally. When you are like, if someone doesn't show up for you, if you send out the invite and they don't show up, please don't take it personally. That is not because of you, unless it is, and that's a different conversation. But that's not because of you, like, don't take things personally. Your piece is your piece. That's your job. That's your gift. And no one can take that away. And you shouldn't be doing anything necessarily to give that up. Not only don't take things personally, but in that same sense, like, we're in an identity, like, what are you rooted in? If someone goes somewhere, here's what I'm thinking. Girls, if you have a group of friends, 2 or 3 friends go hang out without you, immediately you're like, they don't like me. They can't stand me. I'm done with that. That's how I used to think, you know? I used to take it so personally, my feelings would get so hurt. But now it's like, oh, that has nothing to do with me. That's cool. I hope they have fun. That also touches on something else I would think to say is just like your expectations. What are your expectations? It's okay to verbalize your expectations, and it's not someone's job to meet something they have nothing, like no clue about. I feel like first piece of advice is like, don't take anything personally because you don't want that to affect your identity. And along with that, verbalize your expectations. Life is going to be, it's not going to be perfect, but the way that things, you absorb things is going to feel really different. Another thing I believe that we talked about, I'm going to steal this from my friend, but it stuck with me for sure, is that no is a full sentence. I teach that to my kids. They argue so much. But it's for boundaries for yourself and for others. No is a full sentence. Not no and, not no because, not no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, no is a full sentence. You have that right. And when you can sit in that and when you can just express that, no, no. And that actually helps a lot with people pleasing if you're recovering or were like me. And I know that is so hard because I still struggle with that with people closest to me or even strangers. I don't know why it's harder for strangers. Like you want to appear to be something, I don't know, not something you're not, but you want to appear to be helpful, generous, kind. But no is a full sentence. But now that I'm in my 30s and I know that my time means something to me and other people's time means something to them, intentional living is something that I had started doing well before my 30s. Intentional living is really important to me because I know that God is intentional. And so everything that happens to me in my life is not an accident. On the flip side, I'm thinking, how can I intentionally spend my day? Have I woken up and scrolled for hours? Have I woken up and did my morning routine? Have I went and got some coffee? Have I read my Bible? Have I prayed? How have I started my day off? Being intentional is so, 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 so important. I wasn't going to celebrate my 31st birthday. My brain is like, yay, 30, that was fun. And then 31 came and things in my life were looking a little bit different than how I pictured them. And so I kind of put that out of my head, but also I'm just a girl. And I was just like, I want to be celebrated. And now I'm sad because I'm not going to be celebrated because I didn't set my expectation and I didn't tell anybody what I wanted to do. But get you some good friends, get you some friends who will stand on business and tell you, no, you deserve to be celebrated and other people deserve to celebrate you. I said a prayer. And what that can also look like is how I did it is I just like pulled out my phone and I put my notes and I was just like talking to God. I was just praying and I was like, I don't know what I want this to look like, but in the sense of intentional, being intentional living, I was just like, I don't know. I just want to be surrounded by this. I want to feel like this. Like I'm 31 years old. I am grown. I have been through some stuff since January, but it was calm and it was intentional and I had great conversation. I was grateful to the people that I got to celebrate with and I got to just be a girl and I just left it at that. I had posted something on my Instagram that was like, like last season felt like I was learning some stuff. Last season felt like it was for absorbing and taking in and taking the punches and keep it rolling. And this season feels like blooming and it feels like blossoming. And that's why we're here chatting today. In your 30s, what they don't talk about is you literally, if you're doing it right, you really stop caring a lot about what other people think. Your peace becomes untouched when you know what it's rooted in. You are intentional. You don't feel bad about saying no, but also you're not taking stuff personally. It's about not so much creating walls, but a fence. That's going to be important because when you create walls, it doesn't let people in and it doesn't give you the opportunity to experience other people. It just gives that space in that room to say, okay, right now I need you to, be at the fence. We can still see each other, but I need my space here. And that fence has a gate. It opens and it closes. So you allow people in and you go out. I'm excited about what the 30s is doing. So that's what I'm gonna leave with. I'm gonna take those three things. I'm gonna use that in my 30s and I'm gonna use that to grow and I'm gonna use that to be like a baseline. Remember just to not take anything personally. It's not about you. But also, no is a full sentence. Build that fence, not a wall, and just slow down. Be intentional. I'm still figuring that out myself, but I know that I'm so much better than I was before. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one.